Welcome, and thank you all for joining us for this very special series of the Crexi Podcast, an insider's look at all things commercial real estate. I'm your host, Shanti Ryle, Director of Content at Crexi, and this is the Women of Influence series, delivering next-level insights and expertise live from GlobeSt's Women of Influence Conference. And today we are very excited to sit down with Beth Azor, who is a legend in the commercial real estate space. Beth, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Shanti. Well, I'm a legend because I'm old, right? You know what I say?
Even
well-heeled. Do you like that?
What's the word in wine?
Ooh.
Where it's like, I can't think of it.
Aged.
No. My father-in-law is going to kill me. He's a wine aficionado, but
I like wine. I bet you would be shocked to know that I like red wine.
Red wine is so good. I love it. I can't have too much of it because it'll give me a headache, but...
Well, I like the color red, so I like
wine.
red wine.
Yeah. I know. We have, shortly after this, for those watching the YouTube video, we have a Pop of Color cocktail event. So we've all been asked to wear our most colorful pieces, and you definitely delivered, which I love.
Yeah.
So to kick things off, can you tell us a little bit about your story, which is amazing, but for those who don't know.
Sure, absolutely. Been in the commercial real estate industry for almost 40 years. I started when I was 8, just kidding. I was with one company for 18 years and then started my own company in 2004. Today, the majority of my time is put towards my properties that I own. So I invest in shopping centers. So I'm encouraging all of the women in our industry and outside of our industry to invest in commercial real estate.
Yes.
So I own 4 shopping centers currently. I sold 3 in the last 18 months. And then I coach and teach and train across the country how leasing agents can lease vacancies for companies like Kimco and Phillips Edison and Brixmor and DLC. So I think I was a teacher in another life because I love teaching.
Yeah, I mean, storytelling and teaching go hand in hand, right?
Yes.
So your story is absolutely incredible. What about commercial real estate drew you in? You know, what was the magnetic factor?
The money. My parents were in residential real estate, and I said I would never do real estate.
Sure.
And when I graduated from Florida State University, go Noles, I got my dream job. I was a special events coordinator for a not-for-profit. My dream job and goal was to run the Olympics one day. Since this is coming up this Friday, I thought I'd drop that in. Yeah. And I had my dream job. I was a special events coordinator, loving it, but I made a whopping $11,000 a year, Shanti. So that's like 30 in today's numbers. Still not enough.
Still not enough.
So I did real estate on the weekends because when you have parents that are in real estate, you get your license when you're 18.
Yeah.
So all through college, I was doing, during the summers, I was helping them at their company doing real estate stuff. So when I got my dream job, but it wasn't my dream paycheck, I did weekends doing real estate. Sure. And after 2 years working 7 days straight, I was tired, and I had gotten raises at the not-for-profit, and I had gone from 11 to 23 in 2 years, which was doubling my salary.
Than doubling,
But my executive director, God bless her, called me into her office one day and said, "We love you, but your ambition exceeds us." She said, "I don't make much more than you, and I'm the executive director."
Sure.
And at the time, the weekend real estate job started blossoming as far as my paycheck, and I was making more on the weekend job than I was making during my week job. So she suggested I flip-flop and do the real estate thing full-time and volunteer and be on the board of directors for the not-for-profit so I could stay in touch with what I loved to do, but during the week making more money to where, you know, I could start buying shopping centers. So I never really did love it. And it was so funny, you know, we're here at this conference and we just had the first opening session where women were on stage talking about, one woman is in appraisals and she got her degree in creative writing, which I think was so funny. Creative writing, appraisals, degree. Exactly.
Here we are, degree. Yeah.
My degree was in English literature. So
there you go. Yeah.
So I think a lot of us in the field, in our industry, fell into it. So I kind of fell into it. I ended up going from that residential job to commercial. And then once I found retail leasing, I knew I was home. I just said, someone said, you should get into retail leasing. You help people fulfill their American dream by helping them open a business. And that sucked me right in.
Yeah.
And I loved it, and I've loved it ever since.
Absolutely. And it's been such a big part of your story afterwards, just really helping people realize what's possible and also to achieve it, whether that's through a leasing deal or, your courses, your speaking events, all that good stuff.
Yes.
So I'm curious, did you get into the investment side because with your parents you just knew what opportunity that presented, or what made the switch where you're like, no, I want to take agency over creating wealth for myself?
I had a phenomenal boss, and he came to me. I joined the company when I was 26, and at 28 he came and said, we're going to buy a shopping center, do you want to put some money in? I said, I don't have any money. And he said, what do you mean you don't have any money? You're making $60,000, $70,000 a year. You're married. He's making the same. Where are you putting your money? I'm like, I don't know, but I'm maxing out my 401k, but I don't have any money.
Yeah, it's in my checkings account.
Exactly. And he goes, okay. So 2 years later, he comes to me again and he says, hey, we're buying another. And I saw how successful the first one that they did. And I thought, but I didn't really kick myself. I just thought, it's kind of risky. And this is what I find with women today, even though we work in the industry, and it's really like legal insider trading, I was fearful, I wasn't sure, and I thought, I'm maxing out my 401k, we're buying stocks, I'm in the stock market, I'm good. And he comes to me 2 years later and he asks again, do you want to invest in this property? And I'm like, I don't have any money. He's like, what do you mean? You're making $100,000. Where are you putting your money? I go, well, I have a Jaguar in the parking lot. I went to Hawaii first class.
I live a good life.
Yeah, I have season tickets to the Florida State Seminoles.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, well, sorry. And then he came to me 2 years later. Now I'm 32. And he says, we're going to buy this center, and if you want to be the leasing agent, you need to invest in this deal. You must invest in this deal. And I said, and he goes, and don't tell me you don't have any money, because now I know you're making $125 a year. Your husband's making that. There's no way you guys are spending $250 a year. And I went, and he goes, you are a complete idiot. And he took me literally by the neck and took me down to a bank and co-signed a note for $50,000 for me to invest in my first deal.
Wow.
And on one condition.
Yeah.
That from every commission check at that point forward, I would put in savings 10% for future investments.
Oh my
And he said, and if I ever find out you don't do that with your commission checks, we're going to have a problem. So he co-signed a note.
Yeah.
We ended up a year later refinancing the property. I paid the bank off.
Yeah.
15 years later, we sold that deal, and I made 7 figures on a $50,000 borrowed investment that my boss co-signed. So that's how I got into investing, because at that point forward,
I have no answer.
At that point forward, with my savings. So then he came to me another 2 years later, and he goes, "Okay, we have another opportunity," and I was ready.
Yeah.
And that time I put in $100,000 because now I realized. I understood about diversification. I understood that this was legal insider trading. Like, I knew that we're going to buy a property and the rents currently are 18 triple net, and I know I can get 25. So of course I'm going to invest in that. So with him, when I stayed at that company, we invested, I think, in 7 deals. Wow. And then I left that company and started my own company, and my goal was to buy a deal every 2 years, and I pretty much did that. And 20 years later, I bought and sold more than 10 deals.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. So I love that it's the scruff of the neck story. Like, no, you really need to be doing this so much so. Like, it's amazing you had somebody advocating.
Amazing. A man, right.
Yeah.
And that he so believed in me and so supported me, and, put his name on the, co-signed a note.
Yeah. What do you think he saw in you that made him insist on you participating in this?
I think that, first of all, had an amazing work ethic at the firm, and I had grown through the company. I eventually became a president of that company. So, and he founded the company. So he saw my work ethic. I had some creative ways to get deals done. So he saw that. But I think more importantly, he knew I was going to be the leasing agent of that deal. And I don't think he thought I would work harder because I was a partner, but I think he thought I would see it in a different light. I don't really know if I did or not, but it certainly was eye-opening being a partner and getting those partnership letters from him as the general partner. And I was the one taking the rents from 18 to 30. And I'm glad I was a partner also because I was helping create the value. So I think he thought,
You had skin in the game.
yeah, I had skin in the game, and she's going to make the value more valuable because it's all about the leasing. And that's what I tell all my leasing agents that I coach and train is, if without leasing agents, there wouldn't be developers.
Yeah.
You know, we are the ones that bring the tenants. We're the ones that bring the value. We should be the ones that have skin in the game.
Absolutely. So how, when you are teaching these young or your peers, professionals who haven't gotten into the investment game yet, how do you educate them to look out for that right opportunity? Is it, just jump in, like feet first, ready to go? Is it, start with something small, see how it feels? And then what makes for a good investment deal? Especially for people who are just getting started.
Right. So it's super hard to find deals. Super hard. It's not hard to find money. It's super hard to find the right deals. So when the first thing that I tell someone that says, I'm thinking about getting into investing or I want to invest, you're harping on us getting into investing. What should I do first? Obviously, from my own experience, the first thing that you need to do is save money.
Yes.
Because you never know when an opportunity will come your way. And if you don't have money, you can't take advantage of it. So I tell all my young people and my peers, every commission, put money aside. Have a little savings account where it's your investment savings account. So you have the ability if a deal comes your way. So that's number one. Number two is do what I did and become a limited partner in someone else's deal. Because you don't want to, it took me, my first deal was in 92 that I was a limited partner. And then I did 7 deals that I was a limited partner before in 2005, I was my first general partner.
Yes.
So 13 years of investing as a limited partner. So I, wasn't in charge. I gave money. I gave a check and got a check. It was a beautiful thing. Now I was involved in the leasing of those deals, but my direction to interested investors is start telling your friends in the commercial real estate industry and in your company and your peers, I'm interested in an investment. If you hear of anything, let me know. And it can be, I do limited partner deals with women friends that are investing in multifamily assets. So it diversifies. So my friend bought a 6 unit and then she bought an 8 unit, then she bought a 17 unit, and now she bought a 43 unit. And I've been an LP with her.
Yeah.
So I tell newbies, go just spread the word that you want to invest. Because if people don't know you want to, they're not going to tell you about deals. And then go in with a smaller amount of money first, really vet the sponsor, ask the questions. And if anyone is listening to this and they want to know what are the questions to ask to vet the sponsor.
Go to your website.
Yeah, they can call me and I'll help them. But start as an LP.
Yeah.
Before you now you certainly can go buy a duplex or a quad, right? A 4-unit building. You can do that. Most everyone's rented an apartment.
Yes.
So that's not impossible to figure out how to do that. And that's an investment. So if you are in a market where, like you're in Fort Lauderdale where I live, and you are still renting, you can't afford the house that you want to buy because housing prices are crazy, start looking for a duplex or a quad where they call it now house hacking, where your 3 tenants are paying the rent and you don't have to pay the rent, right? They're paying your mortgage. So that's another way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you touched on an interesting point there, which is the relationship aspect of it. Start telling your friends in the industry that you want to get into it. And I think that's something that, at least for me, like I find myself remembering a lot is since commercial real estate is so big, you got to make friends. You got to do these projects with other people. And so I'm curious, do you think about forming relationships, maintaining relationships with your partners on these deals, or even people you haven't worked with yet, but maybe you will down the line? How do you think about relationship building in your business?
It's crucial. It's crucial. I would not have any of the successes I've had without the relationships I've had. So I think that what I tell people all the time is between you and your next investment, between you and your next job, between you and your next deal is a person. And you need to meet people every chance you get. When you're at these conferences, you know, people hate when I walk up to my friends and go, you know each other. Mingle. Like go walk up to a woman here at this conference who's standing alone. And she'll be so happy because you saved her, because she's maybe an introvert and you're an extrovert, and she doesn't want to be standing alone, but she's maybe a little timid and isn't extroverted and wants to go up to someone. So I'm always trying to meet new people. I'm always trying to introduce people to each other, but relationships is what life is made up of. You know, this is how you meet a spouse. You have to meet people. My son, you'd love that I'm saying this in public, but he's 21. He's like, I'd love to, have a girlfriend. I go, well, she's not going to walk into your bedroom while you're playing a video game and saying, I want to date you. Like, you got to get out.
Yep.
So take advantage, say yes to opportunities like this conference, like other conferences, like meetups. There's a lot of investor meetup groups around every city where people just get together, people that are already investing. You're not committing to anything, just go and listen to the stories, and then you will find someone that you click with, and then again say, I'm interested, and then again vetting that person. It's so important to vet the person. Talk to, what I tell people when they are thinking about investing with me is they say, well, can you tell us your the stories of your deals you've invested in? I'm like, absolutely. I said, but what you really want to do is call investors of mine that don't invest with me anymore.
Ask them why.
Why aren't they investing with me anymore? And many times it's because they're now doing their own deals. But I'm happy to give them a list of people that used to invest with me that don't now. Because everybody that's currently investing with me is going to say something good, but go talk to the people that... So...
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with a job, right? You hopefully, let's say you're hiring somebody, when you have a candidate that's stellar and you're like, give me your references, please. You want to solicit honest feedback.
Yes.
Great feedback is great. You already know that candidate's great, but give me the honest picture of strengths and weaknesses, things to maybe work on. And that's just going to serve you so much better, especially if you do bring on that partner or that candidate. It's, it gives you more of the puzzle to play with, and just more opportunity in the long run.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
I love it. I want to be mindful of your time because we've got a party to go to.
Yeah, we do. Cocktails are waiting.
If you, and this is so hard because you have so much good advice, but if you had to distill just a key insight, takeaway to our audience, which there are a lot of young people, but there's a lot of people who've been doing it in the rodeo for a long time, what advice would you give our listeners that you really want them to take away from this conversation?
So I think this would work for all age groups or all experience levels in the industry. If you want a job, act like you've got it already. So there's a lot of people that say, I wish I had that job. I hope I get that job. When I was working in the prior company, before I started my own company, my mom always taught me, if you see a need, don't wait for your boss to tell you what to do. Find a need and do it. And I did that. And so if there was, we had a company picnic and they were looking for volunteers, I volunteered. And I had friends that say, why are you doing extra work? You're not getting paid for that. Well, by working on and volunteering for the company picnic, who was I around? Oh, the head of HR. Oh, the president of the company. And I'm this like lowly 6-month in leasing trainee. But now I've got FaceTime with all of these people, and I can show them things like I'm dependable. I'm a problem solver. I'm a multitasker. So act like you have the job. I had a niece who she worked in Carrabba's Italian restaurant, and she was, I think, the side cook or something, and she wanted to be the sous chef. And I said, go in early and stay late and say, can I for 30 minutes work with the sous chef before my shift starts? And she's like, Auntie Beth, why would I do that? I don't get paid to do that. I'm like, because if the sous chef calls in sick you've been training, they're going to pull you in. And she said, oh, I never thought of it like that. But her mother was like, I don't want my daughter working, and I'm like, you're missing the point. So she took my advice, and exactly what I said happened. Like 3 months in, she didn't do it every shift, but she did it probably once or twice a week. And sure enough, the sous chef, the regular person, called in sick one day. And the GM of the restaurant said, hey, Aunt Molly, can you step in? So do the job. If you want the next job, see what parts of it that you can do, because I promise you will get that job a lot faster when you're showing the boss you can do it. And don't have the lack of abundant, I can't think of the word.
Scarcity?
Yes. Don't have the scarcity attitude.
Yeah.
Just go for it. And I think better things will happen.
I love that. Such good takeaways. Thank you so much, Beth.
My pleasure.
I know you're everywhere on the internet, but really briefly for our listeners, where can they find you if they want to get in touch?
So Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram probably are the best 3 places.
Perfect.
Shanti, thanks for having me.
Thank you
Thanks
so
to Crexi for
much.
doing this. This is amazing.
Yes, it's been so much fun. And thank you to all our listeners who tuned in today. If you enjoyed this episode, do not miss the next one in our Women of Influence series. Visit Crexi.com/podcast and sign up to get the next episode delivered straight to your inbox. You can also subscribe to the Crexi Podcast on your favorite podcast app, or check out our YouTube channel for video recordings of each episode. Take care and be sure to tune in next time.